The deleted account that still plays Roblox, what it knows will change everything. Segment 3. The pattern recognition. I compiled every report I could find about echo encounters. 17 documented cases, but I suspect there are hundreds more that went unreported. I created a spreadsheet: date, time, game title, player description, behavior pattern, crash time. And I found something. Pattern that shouldn't exist. The echoes appear most frequently in games that were created between 2008 and 2012. Specifically, games that were popular during that period but have been abandoned by their developers. The second pattern. They appear at specific times: 3:47 a.m., 7:23 p.m., 11:59 p.m. These times have significance. They correspond to the timestamps of major Roblox server updates in 2011. But the third pattern is what convinced me this is more than just rogue code. The behavior sequences are evolving. Visual cue, show comparison charts. In reports from 2016, echoes were described as moving in simple geometric patterns. Straight lines, right angles, repeating loops. But in reports from 2023 and 2024, witnesses describe more complex behaviors. One echo was observed building structures in a game, placing blocks in patterns that formed recognizable shapes. Another was seen following a human player, mimicking their movements with a slight delay. They're learning. In my research, one game name kept appearing in the reports: testzone_devbuild_034. It was mentioned in the leaked memo, in forum posts, in private messages between developers. But when I searched for it on Roblox, I found nothing. Then I remembered something about Roblox's URL structure. Old games, especially from the beta period, used a different URL format. Instead of the modern system, they used direct ID numbers. I started trying random old ID numbers, searching for patterns in the gaps where games should be but weren't listed. After 6 hours of searching, I found it. Game ID 00034. The page loaded, but it looked broken. The game title was corrupted text. The description was empty. The creator was listed as Roblox, but not the official Roblox account. There was no verification badge. The game had been played 2,847 times. Last updated today. Psychological tension builds. I shouldn't have clicked play. I know that now, but I needed to see it for myself. The loading screen was wrong from the start. Instead of the usual Roblox loading animation, it was a solid gray screen with a single line of text that kept repeating: validating environment, validating environment, validating environment. Took 4 minutes to load. When it finally did, I wasn't in a typical Roblox game. I was in a void, an endless gray space with a grid floor that extended in all directions. The sky was a lighter shade of gray. No sun, no horizon, just gradients of gray fading into nothing. I was alone, or so I thought. In the distance, I saw figures. At first, I thought they were other players, but as I moved closer, I realized they were frozen in place. Default avatars, all facing the same direction, arranged in perfect rows and columns. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands. The game's player list showed only me, but these entities were clearly there. I approached the nearest one. Its avatar was gray, matching the environment. The face had no features, just a smooth surface where the eyes and mouth should be. I tried to click on it to see if it had a profile or a username. The moment I clicked, every single entity in the grid turned to face me simultaneously. My heart rate spiked. This wasn't a scripted animation. It was too smooth, too coordinated. They all began walking toward me, maintaining their grid formation, moving in perfect synchronization. I ran. In Roblox, running is just a faster walk cycle, but in that moment, my actual hands were shaking on the keyboard. I ran in a straight line, away from the approaching mass of entities, but the void seemed endless. I glanced back. They were still following, still maintaining formation, moving at the exact speed I was moving. Then I noticed something that made me stop. The entities weren't walking on the grid floor. They were walking slightly above it, maybe a centimeter or two. Their feet didn't make contact. And their shadows, every single one of them was casting the same shadow, pointing in the same direction, even though there was no light source in the void. I opened the developer console again. The game was registering 0 players except me, but the console was showing network activity. Massive amounts of data being processed. My computer's fan kicked into overdrive. In the console log, a message appeared in red text. Observation protocol active. Do not interact. My game crashed 30 seconds later. This time, my entire browser closed. When I reopened it, the game ID 00034 redirected to a 404 error. The game was gone. But here's what terrifies me. When I checked my Roblox account's recently played games, testzone_devbuild_034 was listed, with a playtime of 47 minutes. I was only in that game for 4 minutes.